Yeah.
You know, Democrats
sense.
believe that what they're thinking and the way that they want to go is the correct way, and Republicans believe that their way of thinking and where they want to go is the right way. And I'm in the middle saying, you know what, I think what's best for America is that we stop this stupid party division and start working to. How many times have we heard when they're up on the Hill that, oh my God, they reached across the aisle?
Yeah.
Holy shit! They're
Well,
supposed
now
to
reaching
reach
across the aisle-
but they're supposed to.
Are
There
they?
are Americans that are supposed to be working.
Oh well,
for
now
Americas.
we have some Americans that want to legalize pedophilia. So reaching across the aisle in that case is
That
a little
would
bit
never
ridiculous.
happen. That would never happen. No,
Well, it
what
happened in
what I'm saying
California and
is,
several states.
what I'm saying is that Republicans want to be celebrated if they include Democrats, or Democrats want to be celebrated if they include Republicans in any of their bills. And to me, that's ludicrous. They should all be working on the same thing. They should all be looking at the same
Well, we
direction.
want two totally different things. There's no compromise.
But then
Do we really?
I think if
Yes,
you
of course.
if you compromise
Yeah.
with Democrats long enough, you wind up with adults having
that's
sex with kids.
That's how we ended up in this situation.
Now, I'm 100% against pedophilia. I think that that's wrong, but I don't think that all Democrats think that the same way that what we're dealing with right now
but the
is that
lefties
what
and
they
the
want.
lefties are in charge of the
There
Democrat
are
Party now.
radicals in all of them. Republican, Democrat, Tea Party.
Yeah,
there
but the
are radicals.
lefties are running the show.
Yeah.
Right now, the people that are running the show.
You think the
I
Democrats
don't-
will ever come back to normal and be normal Democrats again?
I think that people will see. I mean,
Oh,
I
man.
can tell you how many Democrats I've spoken to that say this isn't the direction we want our country to
But
go.
what do? They still
Okay.
vote blue.
Well,
Well, because
lot of
they're
it. Right.
afraid of what's going to happen if the Republicans
do
get
any
in
of
there.
these Democrats that disagree with the direction that our country's going are younger than 40 years old?
Yeah,
because
I've spoken with a wide array. So yeah,
because
I've
let
seen
me
some
tell
and
you,
all.
everybody my age, I'm 21 years old, by the way. Every single person my age is a radical, ridiculous lefty who wouldn't survive in any other country. They think that there are several genders. Not only do they think homosexuality is an okay thing, which is unacceptable in any country that's still going to sustain itself in the next 50 years, right? Not only do they accept homosexuality, but they think that there's like 100 million different sexualities. They think that our government should be down on its knees appealing to all these mentally ill people.
You think you should read dirty books
They
to
think,
little kids?
Yeah, they think that black people should be given reparations because, I don't know, their grandpa's daddy's dog trainer was a slave at some point. I don't know where they go with it. So it's a radical agenda. It's an agenda that a country can sustain itself on that agenda. But
Criminals
obviously,
shouldn't be in prison.
they're little dumb kids who have no clue how to run a country. They've only ever lived in their mommy's basement for however many years, and that's the way they think a country should be ran. So I think that's the future of the Democrat Party, right? These are your future Democrat voters, along with the millions of illegal immigrants that are going to be voting in this next election.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and you know, I could see where you're coming from when it comes to that, but not all gays are bad, and not all gays are. This is just a part of life. This is a part of progress. We've said that, you know what, everybody has a right here in Florida, here in the United States, to believe what they want to believe, as long as it doesn't interfere with what I want to believe. And people have a right to do what they want to do, as long as it doesn't intrude on what I have.
But
a right
now
to
it's
do.
intruding on all of our lives.
Exactly.
Now
and
it
that's
is.
where we have
So
to
we
stand
have
up
to
and
stand
say,
up. Yep.
this is enough.
Well, that's the thing. Nothing in the world or in world history has ever been stagnant. Anything, stuff, people are progressive, people evolve, ideas evolve, right? We got to this point by saying, well, okay, hey, they're just gay. You should let them, you should get, have the state regulate, what used to be holy matrimony between a man and a woman. It's okay. You should allow the state to give that privilege away to gays. It doesn't harm me. And now look at it. A couple of years later, hey, you don't want to kick my gay wedding cake? You should be arrested. I'm suing you. A couple of years later, hey, if you don't use my right pronoun, that's a crime. I'm suing you. And then now, look, you have to let us decide what gender your kids
And
are.
all along the way, we kept making concessions to the Democrats.
We've made
and this
many
is where we've
concessions.
wound up. You know what I mean? They want to read a book on how to. They want to read books to preschoolers on how to masturbate twice a day to relieve stress.
And if you disagree with that,
Yeah.
you're a homophobe and you should be arrested. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, there are, like I said, there are many people on both on the Democratic side that don't believe that this is the agenda that they want either.
Right, but while they don't believe it, the lefties are gaining ground. It appears to be that way.
But it's such a small percentage.
In Canada,
It's just they're the
it's
loudest.
a small percentage, but they're in control.
the loudest,
in
and that's
Canada,
the whole
if
thing.
you mispronounce somebody,
I know,
you go
it's
to
so-
jail.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's crazy.
In all honesty, the pronoun thing I think is just a fad, just like the baggy pants and things like that. In a couple of years, it's
Oh
gonna
no,
go
no!
away.
Not when our culture is bending, is
Yeah, but
bending
no,
over to appeal
this
to
is
these
where we
mentally
say
ill
stop.
people.
This is where we say stop. These types of things we say no. We're not going to allow pedophilia. No, we're not going to say.
Yeah, but then you have corporations with billions of dollars who are not going to do that. They're still
Like
Disney's
Disney.
still going to produce movies where
Why
there's
do they
gays
do that?
kissing and people
Why
calling.
do they do that? Because they're trying to attract people to them.
Right.
They'll go whichever the way the wind blows.
Yeah, but they're losing money because of this.
But they don't
How
care.
many billions do they
I think their
have?
ideology, they have
I don't
that
think they
controls
have
them
an
more
ideology.
than their urge to make money. I think at this
I
point.
think their ideology is money. I think that they can get more people if they.
I know, but
go
since they
the
went down the
crazy
woke
way.
route,
Right.
they're losing money.
But they've
How
gotten
much
to
is
a
Disney
point-
stock worth now? They've lost billions of dollars.
But
And
do
that's
you
the
see
thing.
them stopping or changing?
Not yet.
No.
So that's the thing. They've gotten to a point in which they are. I mean, they have God money. Okay, I don't mean to sound blasphemous, but they have a point where they're. I mean, they're gonna be all right. The board of directors,
Right.
the CEO, they're all gonna be all right. They've gotten to a point where now it's not just enough to have all the billions in the world. They want to influence culture. The CEOs, the people in power, they want to push their agenda. They get off on seeing Americans, become mentally ill and think there are a billion genders out there and that I don't know, half men and 3/4 of a woman can swim amongst women's sports and all that, and they want to give them more. They want to feed into their addiction, right? Because they don't care. I mean, at this point they've gathered enough money, more than they know what to do with, so they just want to destroy the country now because hey, what
But
are
we
gonna
stood up
lose?
to that.
Right?
We stood up that the National Swimming Association said no.
Right.
No more transgender swimmers. People are standing up, and we have to look at this as we need to control the direction, and the way we do it is start putting people, America First people, in office that see that these problems aren't what we want and aren't the direction we want. So we have to be strong enough to stand up, not like the Republicans that are up there on the Hill, or even some Democrats that are up there on the Hill that are just allowing this to continue.
Okay, I see the direction you're heading. I think you're on the right track here, but the whole reaching across the aisle thing, I think we don't just need to reach across the aisle. We need to trample all over their aisle, right? And just, we need to get hammers and smash the columns that are in between their aisles so that their whole building collapses on
We
their
need to
head.
take our aisle back.
We need radical right-wing policies, because at this point in the direction we're heading, we are in the fourth quarter and we're losing by 100 points.
Well,
there's a way you can turn it around, but not by playing fair, right? So,
Well, no,
Or playing nice.
Yeah.
Well, I understand, and it's certainly the playing nice thing is certainly not in the cards. But the idea of smashing down and taking over and
figuratively,
becoming I understand
figuratively, I encourage no violence.
Yes, he encourages no violence. Neither do I. But what I'm saying is that there are ways of making an understanding between people. Right now, people have lost family members over the belief of Republican and Democrat. People have lost friends because of this. And if you look at it, the basic Democratic Party and the basic Republican Party all want the same thing. We want to be able to live our lives. We want our freedoms. We want to be able to have a house, raise our kids, go to work, those types of things. Those are the basic starting points that everybody needs to agree on. Whether you're gay or straight, doesn't matter. You still want to have children. You still want to have a home. You still have a job. You need to start with that as your basic stance. This is where it is, and we'll go out from there.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever have a cohesive environment where we finally met in the middle and we're like, it's
No.
cool. They're always going to be pushing.
We are
They're
we are
craziness
we are
on
in a
everybody.
war. We are in a war right now with our fellow Americans, and it's either us, the good Americans, the good Christians who want to see America return to the way it was, where there's nuclear families, financial sustainability, or you have the other side that's going to win. It's either us or them. And the other side is mass homosexuality, degeneracy, drugs flowing over the border. It's like a big degenerate orgy, is the left's idea of an ideal America, right?
The whole gay thing is never going to leave the school system in all of these blue states.
That's that's
No.
Never
I
gonna
disagree.
leave.
I think that's
They-
being taken out. I know it's taking time, and the fact
I
that
don't think
it
it'll
even
ever go
got
away.
on there. The fact that it even got in there is not believable to me. I mean, it's unbelievable that they allowed it to get in there. But that goes back to other topics. What you're saying though is we can't sit there and say, we have to completely wipe out an entire ideology. That's their ideology. What we need to do is we need to bring in our ideology and let them. One of the main things I think that America has a big problem with is we've never had the ability to discuss things. We have the option, the capability.
We're the side that will discuss
Well,
things.
that's
It's
the
them
thing.
that don't. They won't.
Unfortunately, one side is willing to discuss things. The other side will just burn down the courthouse when their ideas are not met.
then that's
They'll
what
just
we
try
need.
to assassinate Supreme Court justices.
But
right?
that's what we need to do is we need to set it up so that everybody has the ability to hear the whole thing, not just what we think you should be thinking.
That's the thing, brother.
Because that's where we have a problem right now is the government's coming in and telling us people, the Republicans or the independents, you have to do things this way. And we're like, no. We want to know why we have to do it this way. If you sat down and explained it and broke things down so that we could have an open discussion about it, things would be different. But we don't have that right now.
Mr. Gray, I think you think we're dealing with normal people, but we're not. We're dealing with the same people that God burned down during Sodom and Gomorrah. We're dealing with the same people that Samson had to knock down the 2 columns to bring down the mansion on top of their heads, right? We're not dealing with people that you can just, they have morals and values, right? That you can just you can just have them see the way that you're thinking, right? You see, you have good morals and values. Let me just prove to you why my policies are gonna bring about your values agenda to be. Their values are like killing babies.
Here's what they're
mass
doing right now. There's an
homosexuality.
all points bulletin for all the lefties out there. If you see a Supreme Court justice out there eating somewhere in a restaurant like Kavanaugh the other day, there's a reward. Okay.
To kill them.
Well, there's a reward that if you can pinpoint where they are, and a mob can form out there, you'll get some kind of reward. So Kavanaugh's someone's already tried to kill Kavanaugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what they want. They know that there's a bunch of crazy lefties out there, and they know they're nuts.
Yeah.
And as soon as they can find somebody in a restaurant somewhere, they will kill them.
Yeah.
And Biden gets to pick a new Supreme Court justice.
But didn't we see the same thing?
Isn't that an insurrection? And the White House says it's fine.
Didn't we see the same thing when BLM was going around and going to restaurants and bothering people that were eating and saying that you had to say Black Lives Matter or else, and one woman actually got killed because she said all lives matter.
She did.
The idea is certainly there are a lot of easily manipulated people out there. There's a lot of kids out there that believe what they've been taught by those professors that are in college or school teachers, that this is the correct direction. We just have to stand firm with, you know what? This is America. This is what's made us America. This is where we're at, and this is where we're going. You can come with us, but you have to understand that we're not going to accept any more of this baloney that you're trying to push.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of kids out there that need a good old-fashioned ass whooping with
They
a
need to
paddle.
go to a Russian prison camp
They
for a
need
little
to
while.
go, yeah, like that one WNBA chick that was kneeling for the flag and disrespecting
Griner.
the national anthem.
Brittany Griner.
And now she's begging America to interfere to get her out of Russia. You know what? I think she needs to spend the rest of her days in Russian prison
Well, now she's
just so
got
she
a
can
10
reminisce on how good she had it in America.
Yeah, she's
Right?
got